Hi, I'm responding to one of the questions that we got via direct messaging in the Instagram account. It goes like this. Do you have any tips for those of us who are good at selling products during our 9 to 5 but fall completely flat when it's time for us to talk about our own business? If you found yourself in this position, trust me, you are normal and you can cut yourself some slack. There are a few good reasons why this would be happening, and I want you to know it happens to even the best salespeople. One of the reasons why you have such a comfort selling for other people is that you know that the buck does not stop with you. There's a clear mental and physical separation between a product that you're selling for an employer and a product that you're selling for yourself. You have the security of a team that works with you for service delivery. The brand promise and all these things that larger companies offer, that is from the collective effort of a lot of people. When you are working for yourself or with a very small team, you are very cognizant of the fact when you're about to speak to somebody that the buck stops with you. You are also mindful of the fact that every possible question that you may be asked, you may not have an answer to. I'll give you an example. Let's say you sell pencils. You sell pencils for the stationery shop. You know that if this pencil doesn't write, there's the accounts department, there's customer service, there's the manufacturer warranty. There are a lot of different people who stand behind the promise of what this pencil is supposed to do. When it is your business, it's just you. And sometimes the anxiety and the responsibility can weigh on you in such a way that you find it difficult to communicate because you don't want to oversell, you don't want to overpromise, and you don't want to say something that you may not be able to follow through on, or you don't want to be asked a question that you can't answer. It's a very real concern. Another thing that you need to keep in mind, or what we often discount when we're very good at selling for other people, is training that we would have received. Now, chances are, particularly if you work in a large company, you have benefited from a very lengthy, sometimes as long as 3 months, training period. It is usually structured. You can often have like refreshers or product updates, manufacturer updates. There is some measure of on-the-job training that is ongoing, and there might be annual training for a whole team. Remember, chances are you were taught how to speak about a product. You were taught about the significance of the color red, how the pencil feels in your hand, what's the best sharpener to go with this pencil? Does it fit in a particular pencil case? Is it best for adults? Is it best for children? How does the rubber work? All of these little things that you can speak so comfortably on, chances are you were trained to talk about them and you've had practice doing it. And even if you don't work in an organization where training is structured, chances are you have a boss or a colleague, someone who can give you feedback and say, hey, let them know it holds well like this, as opposed to like that. You have feedback and you are in a way engaged and encouraged to improve your sales process. When you work for yourself, you are your own feedback and your own training department. So what do we know that we've acknowledged the fact that there's a bit of a problem? Well, as I had mentioned yesterday, one of the things that you can do and you should do is relieve yourself of the burden of having all of the answers and start asking questions. If you sell hair products, skincare products, don't assume that you have to tell everybody everything about your product when they express an interest in it. Start by asking questions. If they're looking at a shampoo that you made, ask them to describe the texture of their hair. What challenges are they having with it? Is it oily? Is it dry? Ask them to tell you about their hair care routine, what they're hoping to achieve, what products they currently use. When you allow a customer to speak to you, it allows you to respond in a very specific and informed way. That spares you the responsibility and the burden of trying to say everything and also saying things that may not resonate with them. Because what you don't want to do is have this well-rehearsed speech, and when it's all said and done, they say, yeah, but I wasn't interested in shampoo though, that I heard that you had a conditioner. Get in the habit of asking questions, and the more questions you ask, you will find that the conversation is more organic and you'll be sharing information in a very natural way. Another thing that I would encourage you to do is take the time to write out the answers to the 3 to 5 questions you find you get asked the most about your business. Think about it. People will say, did you make this? What are the scents that you have? How did you come up with this product? Take the time to write out what those 5 questions are and write out the answers. Now, here's what's going to happen. You are, in writing it out, you are going to think of things that you can say to people that you never thought of before. Your mind is going to be clear. You don't have the pressure of responding on the spot, and you're going to be coming up with things that would be of interest to somebody, but you don't remember them in the heat of the moment. You're also training yourself to remember these things, because there's enough evidence to say that when you read something, when you write it and you repeat it, you remember. So write out the answers to 3 to 5 questions that you get asked the most often, and write out your ideal answer so that you can commit to memory what you want to say. Now, the next thing that many people don't like to do is practice. Most of us are not born great doing things. I can tell you, sales is one of those things that you can learn to do really well, and you don't need to be a big personality. People who are good at sales have a system, and I would encourage you to practice selling. Now, here's where you can start. Tell a close friend, a family member, another entrepreneur, look, I'm having a really hard time speaking to customers. I just draw a complete blank. Can you ask me some questions about my business? I just want to get in the habit of responding. You would be surprised how helpful that is, because quite often we have all the information in our head, but it's so different. You see, that journey from here to your mouth, it could feel like the longest road. So get in the habit of speaking about your business. Do not wait until you get to a pop-up or someone asks you to come to an interview to start mouthing out the answers to questions or hearing yourself speak about your business. Ask a friend, a colleague, another entrepreneur, say, hey, I'm a little shy, I have some great things I want to say, and let them work with you. Let them be your sounding board. Let them give you feedback. Let them give you the questions in a safe space, and do that on an ongoing basis. By the time you start writing out your answers, practicing your responses, and getting in the habit of asking more questions, you will find that even if you normally fall flat, you now have a system in which you can put in place to deal with questions as they come to you for your business. I hope this was helpful. If you have any more questions, feel free to send us a DM and we will respond. You could drop a note under the message in the message box here. But in the coming weeks, we are going to have some more professionals in other areas that can answer questions in the areas of accounting, small business accounting, and law. So look out for more from the Pivot series.